Hey everybody, this is Roger for Blackie Thomas WOODSCRAFT. I also wanted to give a shout out to Brent and everybody at Wazoo Survival. Thank you also for the stone. I'm wearing it, using it, and just wanted to say thank you. Great piece of gear, guys. Have a great day.
Okay guys, this is at the Pathfinder Gathering, and this is Wazoo Survival Gear, and I have found a piece of gear here that is really interesting to me. And what this is a sharpening stone. As you can tell, it's got a flat back, and then over here it's got a rounded edge, it's got a fishhook sharpener, and it's got a beveled edge for getting all the edges. It's easy to wear, something light and handy. Now, hold on a second and let me bring the guy in and we'll talk about it. Okay. Hi there. Tell who you are.
Hey, I'm Dustin with Wazoo.
Awesome. Now, we were talking about how this piece of gear could be used for sharpening a kukri.
Yes, sir.
Now, I've got my kukri laying back there. How about grabbing it up and showing how we could apply these angles to it? For all you kukri guys that's looking for something to carry in your haversack.
Yeah, thank you. Well, this is the first time I'm familiar with this knife, but this is an incredible knife, and I think it showcases why this might come in handy. Typically, if you have a large whetstone, that flat portion prevents you from hitting angular portions on your blade, just by sheer fact that a flat portion on a round surface just doesn't work. They don't match up together right. So with our whetstones, they're a little bit smaller, which does allow it to have a flatter surface, or shorter, flatter surface. But I think where it really comes in handy, especially for these little shapes here, especially right here where you have this, that you have a bevel, a grind that comes into a grind. People, I guess, are familiar with this blade.
The sweet spot.
Okay, and that's probably a little tricky spot to get into. And so, with a whetstone that has 4 different angles, you have that rounded bevel, and then you have that angle here. That's probably not going to be likely used in this case, but this rounded portion really can get up in, I mean, right into here, into this angle, and then you can contour it into this as well. I think you're the kukri guy, and you may have had some other ideas of how to showcase that, but that's kind of my intuitiveness about this kind of knife, and then the whetstone and what it kind of enables you to do, at least out in the field, really quickly.
All right, let's swap the camera a minute, and I want to show something with this. All right, everybody knows about my Master Woodsman, and everybody talks about how hard it would be to sharpen. As I've said, this is all the same angle. With this stone, being able to lay it around and have that flat cord, I could tangle that cord up around me pretty hard and have a good secure way that I could sharpen the Master Woodsman, just like that. I'd also have all these other bevels for use in different kind of knives, but it would easily be able to hone this. Now, what is this stone made out of?
Oh, yeah, it's a I can get into it a little bit deeper, but
yeah,
that is an Arkansas, or soft Arkansas stone. It's 99% silica. The cool thing about silica, if people aren't familiar with whetstones, natural whetstones, is the silica particles are all universally the same. So that's why they would argue that natural whetstones are way better than any kind of artificial whetstones that we can do, because the particle size is universally the exact same. So generally speaking, it's 99% silica, 99.9% probably is what they would argue silica, and that is soft Arkansas whetstone, which is considered the general purpose whetstone, so it can get you out in the field, get you back up to a hone.
Now if I grab, let me flip this around where you can see. Okay, let me grab my regular kukri. Now taking the stone and using that rounded edge, it would be very easy to do this and roll and hone the entire edge of the kukri using that rounded edge right there. See how easy it fits my hand? Now yeah, you're going to have to be careful. You're probably going to want to come from the bottom and do like that. But you'd easily be able to sharpen that. And that is small enough to fit in a haversack, wear around your neck, and a necklace. Now, you were telling me earlier that y'all stole this idea from the Vikings.
Yes, sir.
That they had these stones and that they were found in grave sites and etc. And we were talking about how it must have been that important to them that they would bury you with this. And yet so common, it wasn't so rare they wouldn't dare bury something so valuable. So it must have been extremely common back in that day for these to be, buried so much. But I can see what they were going for. I mean, they were such a weapon-driven society, wanting a sharp sword, a sharp knife. This would be very important to them. And I think this is going to be a really good piece of gear.
Thank you.
Alright, I'm going to be getting one of these guys, and we're going to be doing an in-depth review, so be looking for it. That's coming up. And again, the name of this company is, let me show that, swing around there, is Wazoo Survival Gear. And if you have any questions and you want to go ahead and jump the gun and get one, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, our website is probably the best place to get it from. Helps us out the best is wazoosurvivalgear.com.
Okay.
If you are a millennial or you're in touch with 2018, we do have the whetstones on Amazon, so you can get those on Prime. Get them in 2 days if you need them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And here is their website right there on that, guys. Okay. We got more stuff to come, guys. Stay with me. Okay, as you saw in my recent video where I went to the Pathfinder gathering and I got to meet a lot of very interesting people and vendors and got some new gear. And one of the gears I got, as you saw, was from the Wazoo company. They make this sharpening stone and they make necklaces, ferrocerium rod striking necklaces. So, I want to talk about why I got this necklace. One, it's a very handy little sharpening stone. Now they make it like this where you can wear it as a necklace. And it's got the two loops on these leather type cords so you can slide it apart or whatever. Let me give you a little closer look at it. Now what you've got here is a piece of soft Arkansas stone that has a beveled edge right here. It has a small flat edge right there. It has a groove cut right there for a fish hook. And it has a rounded edge, and then of course it's got the flat back on it. Now what this means is this is a sharpening stone that's small enough for me to put in my kit, to drop into my survival kit, to hang on a sheath, whatever. It's small enough and light enough. Now it is stone, so I want to protect it. Now you can use water or oil with it because it is a natural stone. In the field I'm just going to use spit, because I'm not going to carry extra oil. I'm going to wear it around my neck, or I'm going to have it inside my haversack where I can get to it easy to hone. And that's what this does very well. It hones. Now, I haven't talked about that much, but let me explain. You sharpen a knife at home with your steels and your sets and everything, and you get the edge that you want. You hone it in the field. What that means is when I'm doing projects or whatever, and I get to a point I need to take a break, I've finished a project, I'm cooking dinner, I'm whatever, and I got a minute, I'm going to check my knife. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to check the edge for any nicks or any dullness. And then I'm going to hone it, which means just run a stone over it. Now, I'm going to wet the stone, and this is the William Collins neck knife. What I'm going to do is, see how I'm holding that? My thumb on one end, my finger on the other, pull that finger down, put my other finger up to the back to support it. Now I'm going to pull it along that edge. Now I'm using the back for this particular time. But it allows me to very carefully touch up that edge and keep that edge good and sharp. This is in case it's just got a little bit dull. Not bad, it's not really truly dull, but it is needing a little touch up because I've been using it a lot. Now, I can also take that cord, wrap it around me to anchor it to there, put my finger on the back of that, see how that's doing? And I can get in here and do this. Just like that. Especially if I'm doing my kukri and I'm sliding at the length of that edge. Now something big, like I mentioned in the video that you saw, I may want to put it where the edge is up, like on a kukri or a machete or something like that. Put my finger down here below the edge and work. That way I run little risk of bumping that edge and cutting myself. Also, with that rounded side, put a little water on there. I can hook it like this, and I can do it like that and run that rounded edge on something. And just follow the existing bevels just like that. Now what that allows me to do is maintain my edge in the field. It doesn't weigh anything, and it's the perfect little companion to put into my pack. Now once I get this dirty, maybe I ran out of spit, so to speak, and it starts getting these black marks like you can see this one is getting. That's a little bit of steel, a little bit of carbon left on the stone. I can simply take it home and get into some hot tap water at the sink and take a little mild cleanser like Comet or something and rub it and clean the stone and just rinse it off. What's happening is that carbon that's coming off the steel is plugging up the particles. Arkansas stone is 99% silica, which means it's a form of super compressed sea sand. Okay, very uniform, so it's a really superior hone. It doesn't make dips and valleys when you're going, as long as you make nice long even strokes, because the material isn't harder and softer. It's very consistent, and that makes the perfect hone. For many years I had a set of Arkansas stones that I used strictly for honing to keep my edges sharp. If you get a knife real sharp and you hone it religiously in the field, you might not have to sharpen that knife again for months or a year. It's until you truly make it dull, then you've got to sharpen it. Till then, all I'm doing is just touching it up and honing it. So if you're looking for something to carry in your kit that's handy and quick, this is what I'm recommending. I mean, it's by that company called Wazoo, and I will put there up again right up here. I mean, when I saw this, I knew I had to have one. That was all there is to it, because so practical, so easy, and it fits that niche, you know, because I don't want to have to carry a whole lot in the field, to be honest with you, especially when I can tote a minimum piece of gear and do the same job. For my kukris and all, I carry a file, that mill bastard, and it does 99% of the time what I need to do. For my belt knife, my Master Woodsman, my WC SK, for my big William Collins Woodsman's kukri, I can use this in the field just to touch it up and keep it at a good working edge. And it weighs nothing. For me, that's a plus. Please leave any questions or comments below, guys, if you got any questions. And if you're looking for one of these, I suggest you go talk to the Wazoo. And I'll put at the end of this their information so you can get to it. Till then, guys, I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge WOODSCRAFT. Wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.